Hi, so this is part 3 of how to make a website. So what I'll be talking about in this one is some useful downloads you can get to get you on your way. So the ones we'll be going over are Filezilla, Firebug, and then a text editor, so maybe Dreamweaver, and then Photoshop. So I'll start off with Filezilla. Well, specifically Filezilla client is the one you want to get. You can get this one at the URL filezilla-project.org. So what it is, it's an FTP client, so it's quite handy. It means you can upload and download files between your website and your computer, like back and forth, right? So it's real easy, like drag and drop. And it's really convenient when you're trying to just put multiple things on your website at once. And especially when you're working on fine-tuning your coding, like your PHP and CSS, it's real easy because you can just overwrite whatever's on your website. Maybe your CSS style sheet needs to be changed. Well, you just drag and drop it. It takes like 2 seconds, and you just overwrite it, and you can see the results on the web right away. And yeah, it's free, so it's quite good for the budget web designer out there. And yeah, all you need to get up and running on this thing, though, is to know your URL, obviously, and then your FTP username and password. And because that's all you need, and it's quite easy to guess the URL and your username, because your username is normally just exact same thing as your URL, maybe add a number or something. But the password that's the reason why you need a really strong FTP password, and don't change it to something easy like, I don't know, the word password, right? Because this is the classic thing that hackers look for to get into their website, and yeah, if you change it to something easy, then someone can just completely change everything on your site. You don't want that, obviously. So yeah, that's Filezilla, and then I'll talk about Firebug. What that is a way to easily find out how to change the things that are going wrong on your website. So it's by Mozilla again. The URL is getfirebug.com. And so if you're using Mozilla Firefox as your web browser, then it's great for figuring out what's wrong with that or how to change what's wrong with your elements on your site. But what you should also get is called Firebug Lite, which can be used for any web browser, not just Mozilla, right? So Internet Explorer, Chrome, Opera, whatever you may be using. So I'll tell you what Firebug is. So it's a tool that web developers use to figure out the elements that are causing problems on their website. And if you just highlight a part of your website, and then just right-click on it when you have Firebug installed, and you just say Inspect Element, and it'll show you like all the div classes that. So basically, you know exactly what to change in your code right away just by highlighting and inspecting the element with Firebug, right? Like it just easily installs into Firefox for you. And then, yeah, it's great for fine-tuning, you know, getting especially those last final touches on your site. You may be wondering why get Firebug Lite if you're using Mozilla Firefox already, because on your computer it's the only one you use. Like, why would you use Internet Explorer, right? Well, the answer is it doesn't really matter what you use as your web browser. It matters what the viewers of your website are using, and your website will look different on each and every different web browser out there. So, especially Internet Explorer. Like Internet Explorer 6 and before, there's a lot of bugs that you don't really have to deal with other web browsers. Like, it's a pretty crappy piece of software, but unfortunately it's the most commonly used web browser out there. So it's kind of like the bane of most designers' existence, right? Just because to make it look good in Internet Explorer as well as Firefox, like the easy part is making it look good on Firefox, but just getting rid of the Internet Explorer bugs is a huge problem. So it's a good idea to have multiple web browsers installed when you're making a website, and then use Firebug Lite on those other web browsers, obviously. Yeah, basically it's just a big time saver though with this Firebug thing. It's like you don't have to go on like a wild hunt and just program for 5 hours to find out one little thing, right? You can, it just tells you exactly where the code is, you know. And so yeah, now I'll talk about getting good text editor, because whenever you're actually going into customization of the website, going into the coding, you'll need to be writing text on a text editor, right? So especially CSS and PHP are probably the most common ones you'll have to work on. Yeah, the best text editor out there, according to like best reputation, I guess, is Adobe Dreamweaver. So yeah, that's just at adobe.com. You can pick that out. But yeah, it costs quite a bit of money, and for sure, it organizes it a bit better on Dreamweaver for you, but any free text editor will do the trick for you. You know, like the one that comes with Windows for free is called Notepad, and then you got but a good one that you can download that's free is called Textpad as well. But yeah, this isn't essential for making any changes to your code. And then I'll talk about a photo editor. Obviously, the most famous one out there is called Photoshop, like Adobe Photoshop. You can also get that on adobe.com. It again costs big bucks. I don't really know of a good free one, but so they can't help you with that. But you need a photo editor though, because like if you want to make your website one of your own, not just like the theme you might have downloaded. You don't want to look exactly like the theme you downloaded. You want it to look like the site you're trying to make, right? You want to have a nice banner at the top with a nice photo on it. Maybe you have a photo album in there. And so you'll need something to like compress the size of photo images that you might get off of your digital camera, right? Like you can't have 5 megabyte, well, within reason you shouldn't have a 5 megabyte photo onto your photo album, right? So if you have Photoshop, you can easily just compress it into something a lot more manageable that still looks just as good on the web, right? And yeah, even just for doing little tedious things like changing the icons to make them your own, or like the bullet points even. Like there's so many things you could customize that you need a photo editor for, and like the professional grade one out there is called Photoshop. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but and yeah, the reason why you need this is like a lot of web designers will say it's like the meat and the potatoes of your website. Like it's kind of what sets it apart from what you first got. If you want a flashy site, basically you need some flashy images that like really match the style of what you're going for, right? So yeah, and then you can be proud of what you make, right? Anyway, that's that for this one.